Most people think gig work is all about the deliveries. But you know what the hardest part of gig work is? It's in between the orders. You know, that quiet time? The time sitting waiting on your next order, sitting in your car? That is what most people don't tell you about. That you only learn from experience. Welcome back to the Driver's Grind. It is Sunday, February 8th, Super Bowl Sunday. Just finished up a 8 or 9 hour shift. Did pretty decent today. Just got back to the house. Figure before I go in and take care of the dogs, let's make a quick video here. You could not ask for a more perfect day today. Weather-wise, not gig work. So we're going to talk a little bit about experienced drivers, new drivers, how they both cope with different things. So think about it. When you're sitting in your car, waiting on an order, apps are quiet, or they're giving you crappy orders. That's when your mind starts running wild. That's when the silence, it hits different. And your brain will fill that silence with whatever it wants. Stress sneaks in when you stop moving. You replay bad orders. You replay close calls you had. Just like this morning. I did 5 orders pretty quickly, back to back to back. I did a shopping order, and I went to load the bed of the truck, and I realized part of the one order was still sitting in the bin. Now what? Called Spark. Spark said, no problem. Just take it back to the store. So I pulled up to the curbside. Called in. No, we can't take it. So when you do the right thing, you try to do the right thing, it's still stressful. I asked him, well, what do you want me to do with it? None of it was good anymore. It's been maybe a couple hours. And he said, well, call Spark back, see what they say. So I called Spark again. And he's like, since you have no open orders, just take all of it, put it in a cart, push it inside the store. That's some awesome advice. So I did what they told me. Took a picture of it just in case I need it down the road. But now, what's in my brain? Am I going to get deactivated? I mean, yeah, I got 5 other apps I keep working, but still Spark is my main one. So that is an example of an order going sideways, Just like your mind will bring up stuff that happened on orders and deliveries in the past. A couple months ago, I had 2 small fender benders. Am I going to get deactivated for that? Neither one was my fault. Actually, case was dismissed yesterday. So, but that still weighs on you. The longer you do this, you start anticipating problems that haven't even happened yet. What if something goes bad? What if traffic kills an order? Makes it not worth the payout? What if this turns out to be a bad day? Experience teaches you the patterns. And that can be a double-edged sword. All this quiet time, there's some days I'll go through, I'll have 2 hours where I don't accept an order. Even with the other apps on, the orders aren't good enough to actually go do. So turn the music on. Sometimes that don't even help. That's when silence makes everything louder mentally. The thoughts, they don't shut off. You're still working even when you're sitting there waiting. And mental fatigue, that's where it starts building. Not during the delivery, but in that quiet time in your car. You're doing math without even realizing you're doing math. Just like me and the wife have a trip to San Diego coming up. I can't afford to take it out of my 9-to-5 job. Bills are already tight. That's why I do gig work. So I'm trying to pay the whole thing out of this. So I'm sitting there figuring out how many weeks before this trip, how much do I need to make each week? What if I have a bad week? How much longer and more do I have? It's all mental stress. That's stuff people don't tell you about. Even on good days, your body never fully relaxes. Your shoulders are tight. Mine are always tight. I'm always rubbing them. Your mind is always scanning, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. You don't feel it until you finally stop. And if you're an experienced driver, you feel it more. Newer drivers, they're still fueled by the excitement. And don't get me wrong, when you first start, it's exciting. You actually enjoy it probably for a while. But the longer you do it, that experience, that replaces the excitement with awareness. New drivers fill the silence with excitement. Goals, earnings, freedom, optimism about what's possible. I was there. Experienced drivers, they fill the silence with awareness. Risk, time, mental cost. Am I going to burn myself out? That awareness, that doesn't turn off easy. Just like you're trying to sleep at night and your mind is constantly thinking bills, what has to be done the next day, your 9-to-5, family, and it never shuts off. If someone has figured out how to shut it off, let me know. Excuse me. Now, what happened when you became an experienced driver and you're no longer a new driver? The job didn't change. You did. Experience, that brings clarity. With clarity, that brings mental weight. That's why the space in between the orders matters so much. That's what happens when you do this for so long. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years, and I know there's people who have been doing it a lot longer. Not sure when the newness actually wore off, when you started feeling all the mental pressure. Because I feel like I felt it pretty quick. Let's say within the first couple months. But if you've ever felt more drained now than when you first started, you're not imagining it. That quiet space is where the mental weight begins. And once you notice it, it's just like your brain. It's hard to turn off. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe even. We talk about everything here. Challenges. I have a few drive-along days. We'll start showing some more orders here in a week or so. But we also talk about the real life part, the part that no one else talks about. We don't stay with just challenges and money. Anyone can do that. But no one talks about the real life stuff. So until the next one, stay safe out there. This is the Driver's Grind, signing out.